Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Najacca vasalo hoti, najacca hoti brahmano. Kammana vasalo hoti, kammana hoti brahmano. One becomes an outcast or a noble person not by one's birth but by one's actions. Venerable says, friends, I am glad to be here with you today to practice the Dhamma and to share the Dhamma with you. Dhamma is the teaching of the Buddha, which is well expounded Dhamma. This Dhamma is to be understood clearly and practiced accordingly. Then we can live happily, peacefully in this world. One day we can realize real peace, real happiness here in this very world as well. So the Buddha taught us this Dhamma. Today, as we got together, we practice meditation, both sitting and walking, and now it is the time for us to listen to a Dhamma talk. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is how to measure one's spiritual progress. As you all know, it is quite difficult to measure because it is mental. Spiritual means mental. Mental progress. When we practice, who can measure it? There is no yardstick, we can't use a measuring tape. Who will decide? We ourselves have to decide. We ourselves have to understand our own progress with our own behaviors, with our own actions. It is through our actions we can understand our development, the progress of our spiritual journey. Buddha once said, purity or impurity depends on oneself. Nobody else purified another. So we ourselves, everybody individually, we have to understand our own spiritual progress. But as it is clear, for some limited extent, we can understand our spiritual progress through our behaviors, through our actions, such as when we observe the person, when we understand, when we associate with people, we can understand for some extent whether they have developed their metta, loving friendliness, karuna, compassion, whether they have developed their appreciative joy, whether they have developed their equanimity, whether they are more mindful than earlier, whether they can understand things better, whether they have right understanding, such things. Through these different behaviors, these different behaviors and patterns, we can understand, for some extent, we can understand the progress of spiritual progress. So the Buddha said that all these are to be understood according to one's actions. As the Buddha said, the birth, because some people in the time of the Buddha, they said things happen because of birth. People become outcast or noble ones because of birth. But the Buddha said, no, not because of birth, but because of actions. There are three modes of actions. bodily actions, verbal actions, and mental actions. Through these actions, we can understand our progress for some extent. Buddha said, according to one's actions, there are four types of persons in this society. Four types of persons. Who are they? The Buddha said, one person who is heading from darkness to darkness. From darkness to darkness. Second person who is heading from darkness to light. Third person who is heading from light to darkness. Then the fourth person who is heading from light to light. Let's understand a little bit about these four persons. Who is heading from darkness to darkness? That means one is born in very poor state, poor family, has no enough food, drinks, no facilities, very poor person, like homeless. He is doing bad deeds, unwholesome deeds. So as he was born in such a situation, as he is doing unwholesome deeds, after his death he will be born in woeful state, lower state. That is how one is going from darkness to darkness. Second person. He is born in such a place, poor family, no facilities, no enough food, drinks, shelter, like that. He is doing good deeds. He thinks to do good deeds. As he is doing good deeds, after his death, he will be born in a happy state, such as in a heaven. Therefore, it is called going from darkness to light. Third person. There are some people who are born in rich families, having much things, having many different things, but they do unwholesome deeds. Such people, after their death, they are born in a woeful state, in bad states, bad situations. So that is what is called going from light to darkness, from light to darkness. Then the fourth one, people are born in rich families, having much things, doing many different things. They start to do unwholesome deeds, and as they start to do good deeds, more and more good deeds. As they were born in rich families, going to do good deeds. As they are doing good deeds, they go after their death, they will be born in heavens, good places, good destinations. Therefore, they are going from light to light. In such a way, the Buddha taught us according to one's action. All this depend on one's actions. Actions, according to our own actions, we can understand our progress of this spiritual journey. One day, a certain Brahmin, in the time of the Buddha, there were many Brahmins in India. One day, a certain Brahmin went to the city. When he was going to the city, he saw some monks were adjusting their robes, like they were wearing their robes to go from house to house begging. When they were adjusting their robes, he saw the edge of the robe was touching on floor. There were grass. So he saw the robe got wet with the water of the grass. Therefore, he wanted to clean the place. The following day, he cleaned the place, and now there is no grass but soil. Then the next day, when he came there, he saw the monks were there. They were adjusting their robe, but the robe was touching on floor, and as there was muddy water, mud, now the mud was smearing, the robe was smearing there. Now, after seeing this, he thought that it is better put some cement or some sand. He cleaned the place nicely, and thereafter another day he came there. When he came there, he understood that monks have no shelter, no shed there. Because of that, they got wet. Thereafter, he built a hut, a shed for monks. Again, another time, when he came there, he saw the monks were there while they were adjusting their robes. Still, some gust, the water coming through the windows and through the other side. It's not well covered, the hut. Therefore, he built a big hole there for monks to adjust their robes and stay there longer. So, after that, he offered this place to the Buddha and the Mahasangha. That is how the people did in the time of the Buddha. Once they built a new house, first of all, they offer the place to the Sangha, Buddha and the Sangha. So for this purpose, he invited the Buddha and the monks. When he invited the Buddha and the monks, the Buddha, he taught the whole story, what happened from the beginning to the end. Then the Buddha said, Anupubbena medhavi toka tokang kane kane kammaro rajataseva niddame mala mattano. This is in Pali. I know you can't understand Pali. Let me to explain what it is. It's all right. Pali is the Buddha's language. We have to understand this Dhamma according to what the Buddha exactly said. So the Buddha said, Anupubbena medhavi. Medhavi means wise person. Anupubba means gradually. Gradually, the wise person, tokang kane, little by little, tokan, little by little, kane, moment by moment, the wise person, tokang kane, kanmaro rajataseva, as the smith removes the dust in silver. You know, the smith, they remove the dross in silver. Just like that, the Buddha said, the wise person should remove dust, defilement, greed, hatred, delusion from this mind. So as the smith removes dross in silver, the wise person, moment to moment, step by step, should remove these defilements from this mind. That is what the Buddha said. So in such a way, Buddha taught him the progress. When we remove our defilements little by little, even little by little, we have a progress. That is why the Buddha wanted us to practice daily. You know, when we practice daily, we can remove defilements, but we cannot understand, we cannot measure how extent we have cleansed this mind. Just like you use different tools. Say, for instance, you are using a hammer or a knife or a pair of shoes. Once you use it, first day you cannot see the difference. Second day, third day, maybe after week, after month, perhaps months after, then only you can see how extent it's gone, it's worn out. Not the same day. Just like that, when you meditate, you cannot understand how extent you have done. So you to wait. When you practice this day by day, after couple days, couple weeks, couple months, then you can understand I have become different. Now I am not like earlier. Now I have more patience. I have metta, loving friendliness, karuna, compassion, appreciative joy. Now I am more mindful. Like that, you yourself can understand the progress of your meditation. One day, the Buddha's cousin, one of his cousins, named Mahanama, he went to see the Buddha. While the Buddha was living in his village temple. When he went to the Buddha, he asked Bhante, how should one lay person become a lay follower of the Buddha? Then the Buddha said, in order to become a lay follower, you to go to the refuge of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. You see, this is the beginning. In order to follow the Buddha's path, you have to follow the Buddha's path. You have to follow the Buddha. You have to follow the footprints of the Buddha. That is what is called going to the refuge of the Buddha. You follow the footprints of the Buddha. Then you follow the Dhamma. Then you follow the Sangha. That is what is called go to the refuge of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. With this you can become a lay follower. That is the first step. Then he asked Bhante, how can a lay person become virtuous person? Then the Buddha said, refrain from killing, refrain from stealing, refrain from sexual misconduct, refrain from false speech, refrain from taking intoxicants. Then you become a virtuous person. This is the progress. Step by step progress. Then the Buddha, he asked Bhante, how can one one engage in activities, engage in different activities, so that it is for one's own benefit and for the benefit of others? Then the Buddha said, practice saddha, confidence. Practice, develop confidence. Confidence in the Buddha, confidence in the Dhamma, confidence in the Sangha. Confidence means you trust the Buddha. You trust this Dhamma. You trust this Sangha. Why? You can understand. You can understand that this is the way to peace. This is the way to destroy our defilement. This is the way. The Buddha's way is the way. Buddha's teaching is the way to completely destroy our suffering, unsatisfactoriness, for the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. This is the way. With that, you trust the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. So the Buddha said, first Buddha said, then better you develop your confidence, saddha. Secondly, said, develop your morality, precepts. Precepts are very much significant for our practice. That is how we lay the foundation for our practice. Precept is the foundation. Sila, saddha, sila. Then learn the Dhamma. Buddha said, learn the Dhamma and encourage. You have to do this. You have to do yourself and encourage others. When you develop confidence, you have to encourage others to develop confidence. When you develop your sila, you have to encourage others to do develop sila. Then when you learn the Dhamma, you have to encourage others also to learn the Dhamma. Saddha, sila, sutta. Then chaga. Chaga means generosity. You practice generosity. And then you encourage others to practice generosity. Then you like to see monks, nuns. Then you encourage others to go see the monks and nuns. then you lend ear to listen to Dhamma, and you encourage others to do the same thing. In such a way, Buddha said, practice in this manner, then you can see the progress of your spiritual journey. This is the progress, step by step. It is not abrupt. You cannot attain enlightenment overnight. It is a progress. There is a progress. In such a way, you have to practice slowly and understand this clearly. Then you yourself can understand the progress of your meditation, your spiritual journey. The Buddha taught a discourse named simile of water. Simile of water, where the Buddha said there are 7 types of persons. They are, the first person, he comes and jump into the water. The person comes and jump into the water. Once he jumped the water, he immersed, he goes down and never come out. Such a person is there in this society. Who's that? The person who is doing all sort of unwholesome deeds, bad deeds. He is just like the person who come and jump into the water. He never comes out. Second person, he comes and jumped into the water and come out. That person is the person who is doing unwholesome deeds, though later on he start to do good deeds, wholesome deeds. Third person, he jumped into the water, come out and stay on the surface. Such a person is called the person who is earlier he did unwholesome deeds and later on wholesome deeds, and now as he did wholesome deeds, he comes to the surface of water. But after a while, after a month or year, he stopped doing both wholesome or unwholesome. That is why it is said he comes to the surface and stop there. And the fourth one, he is coming out and he looks here, there, where the place where he can reach to practice meditation, to meet good people, to meet a sort of teacher. That is the seeker. Such a person can see a place. Then as he sees a place, he can reach the place like an island in the water. Then once he see that such person can reach to the temporary place, it is an island. It is also not the permanent place yet. Finally, he can reach the land. So these are different levels. So as they practice, as they see, as the seekers, when you try to find a place, you can find a place and then practice. As the result, you can develop your mind. You can come to different stages in the holy life, such as stream enterer, once returner, non-returner, and arahant. These are different levels. This is the progress. In the time of the Buddha, there was a man named Ugga. He was a drunkard. One day, while he was taking liquor in a particular park, he went to a park and he was taking liquor with his friend. He saw the Buddha. So Buddha talked something about him. One day, as the Buddha addressed the monks, Buddha said, "Monks, this person Ugga, even though he was a drunkard, he had some qualities, good qualities." Buddha said, monks, this person named Ugga has some astounding and amazing qualities, 8 different qualities. Saying so, the Buddha rose from his seat and went into his kuti, to his room. It was evening. Then the following morning, a certain monk got his begging bowl and dressed, and he went to this man's house, Ugga's place. When he went there, as he came and respected the monk, the monk asked, Sir, now Buddha said that you have some great qualities, 8 different qualities. What are these qualities? He asked. Then he said, Bhante, I don't know what the Buddha means by the qualities, but I can tell you what I feel, that I have some qualities. I have 8 qualities. I will tell you this. Then he said the qualities. Bhante, as I reflect on my spiritual journey, my spiritual progress, I can remember one day while I was drinking, while I was having liquor, I saw the Buddha. Then I was in that particular park. When I saw the Buddha, my drunkenness vanished. He said, my drunkenness vanished. And confidence arose. Confidence arose in the Buddha. Shraddha arose. Confidence arose. That is the first quality, first astounding, amazing quality that I feel that I have. That is the first one. Secondly, he said, Bhante, when I saw the Buddha, I went to the Buddha and respected the Buddha and attended to the Buddha. When I respected the Buddha, Buddha gave me precepts. I observed 5 precepts, 5th one being celibacy. That means, the 5 precepts, refraining from killing, refraining from taking what is not given, refraining from sexual misconduct, refraining from false speech, and the 5th one is, normally you observe, the 5th one is refraining from taking intoxicated drugs and liquor. But he observed these 4, and the 5th one, he observed celibacy. Celibacy as the 5th one. Now, he said, this is how, Bhante, I observe precepts. So, that itself is a quality. That is the second quality. Then the third one, he said, Bhante, I had 4 young wives. After observing celibacy, precepts, I came home and I discussed with them, with my 4 wives. I discussed with them and I told them, I addressed them as sisters, not their name, but simply addressed them as sisters. And I gave them 3 options. I told them, now sisters, I observe precepts, 5th one being celibacy. Now, if you would like to stay with me as brother and sisters, it's all right. You can stay with me. Let's all do good deeds, meritorious deed, and stay in this house. That's the first option, first thing. Secondly, said as the option, if you want to go your parents' place, it's all right. I can take you back home. That is the second. Third, he said, if anyone wants to marry with another person, please tell me. I can arrange that marriage. Those are the 3. So then one person said that she was happy to marry with another person. So he said he then taken the vessel with water with his right hand and take the wife with the left hand and pour water and marriage gave her to another person. Like that, he said this is how he gave up things. As he practiced, he gave up things. That's the third quality, he said. The fourth quality, Bhante, I am from a wealthy family. Whenever I give, I always give to the virtuous ones without, that is unreservedly. Unreservedly, I share with the virtuous one. That is the fourth quality. Then as the fifth quality, he said, Bhante, whenever I respect the monks, the bhikkhus, I help them respectfully. Respectfully, I did this. I never do anything without respect. That is the fifth quality. Then he said, Bhante, the deities come and inform me about the different monks. There are different qualities. Whenever I invite monks for a dana or for any other reasons, the deities come and inform me the qualities of the monks. Like deities say, this monk has attained arahanthood. This particular monk, the non-returner, this particular monk is once returner. This particular monk is not a good monk. Even all these were informed. Bhante, whatever the deities say, he said, Bhante, whatever they say, I offer things, I give them gift without any discrimination, without any difference. I treated them equally. That itself is a quality of that person. Then as the seventh one, he said, Bhante, the deities, they come and they talk with me. The deities come and talk with me. They talk me about the Dhamma. They inform me that the Buddha taught the Dhamma, well expounded this Dhamma. Whenever they come and talk with me, I have no particular pride. I have no conceit, thinking that I talk with the deities. That was the seventh one. As the eighth one, he said, Bhante, if I die before the Buddha is passing away, then the Buddha will declare that this particular person, this Ugga, has cut off the first 5 lower fetters, cut off lower fetters, 5 lower fetters, and was born in the state of non-returner. As a non-returner, he was born in pure abodes, the Buddha will said. So in such a way, he pointed out his progress. So you see, there is a progress. All these are different levels. When we practice, we can come to different levels of our holy life. So the Buddha taught us this Dhamma to practice and develop these different things. When we practice, develop, we can come to the progress of this holy life. In the numerical discourses of the Buddha pointed out the 10 different factors for the growth, progress and success of our spiritual journey. These 10 factors are very significant. Buddha said, one has to practice first and foremost, one should develop one's confidence. confidence is very much significant for the progress, for the development of our holy life, this spiritual journey. We need to understand our confidence. Confidence is twofold. Confidence based on wisdom and baseless confidence. Shraddha, the Pali term is Shraddha. Sometimes people believe things baselessly, blindly believe. That is not what the Buddha emphasized. Buddha said you should have confidence with wisdom, panya, wisdom. So, if we have confidence, we can understand the progress of our spiritual life. Secondly, sila. Sila is morality. Again, morality is very much significant for the progress, for the success of our spiritual life. Sila. Then sutta, learning. We have to learn the Dhamma. Today we have Dhamma, we have different sources to understand the Dhamma. When we learn the Dhamma, we should learn the original teachings of the Buddha. Buddha's teachings are there, such as lone discourses. Then we have middle length saying discourses, numerical discourses, connected discourses. These are different sources. These are the original teachings of the Buddha. As if we like to practice according to the teaching of the Buddha, we have to learn this Dhamma, Sutta. Then that itself is a way to develop our spiritual faculties for the progress of our meditation, spiritual life. Saddha, Sila, Sutta. Then Suvacha, the Buddha said Suvacha. Suvacha means we have to talk gently, dear to heart, dear to ear. That itself is a factor for the progress of our practice, our spiritual life. Then the Buddha said, practice, develop your contentment. Contentment is very much significant. Buddha said contentment is the highest wealth. Santutti paramang dhanang. In Pali, the Buddha said Santutti paramang dhanang. Santutti means contentment. Then the Buddha taught us to practice, develop sati, mindfulness. Mindfulness is the watchword, key word in the teaching of the Buddha. That itself is the way to develop 4 foundations of mindfulness. If we develop 4 foundations of mindfulness, they lead to 7 factors of enlightenment. In such a way, there is a progress. That is how we see the progress. And then the Buddha taught us to practice, develop virya, the energy as a factor. Then kusala, willingness to do good deeds. Then the Buddha said, practice, understand, associate with good friends, kalyana mitta, good friends. Finally, the Buddha said, develop, understand, keep the right understanding, have right understand, develop your right understanding. If you develop your right understanding, what happens? As you have avoided wrong view, wrong understanding, there's wrong understanding. If you avoid such extremes, wrong things, then you come to right thing, right understanding. When you come to right understanding, you have already come to the first step of the Noble Eightfold Path. When you have right understanding, you start to think rightly, correctly. That is your right thoughts. As the right thought, you think that sharing, giving, nekam. You try to give things, rather hoard things. You want to share with things, share with others. You want to abandon things. You give up your own thoughts. Then you develop your metta, love and friendliness. And you never do cruel things, cruelty. No cruelty, such things. Then you are on the path, Noble Eightfold Path. Then you start to, as you think properly, as you have good thoughts, right thoughts, then you verbalize it. That is your right speech. When you have right speech, you put things into action, not only words, you put things into action. That is your right action. Then right livelihood. You live rightly, righteously. Right livelihood. Then you make effort. You make effort to avoid unwholesome thoughts, overcome unwholesome thought, develop wholesome thought, and maintain wholesome thought. These are your wholesome thoughts. Right effort. You make effort. Then you develop your mindfulness. 4 foundations, 4 establishments of mindfulness. The Buddha said, this is the direct way for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the entering of the path, for the attainment of enlightenment. This is the way. What is the way? The 4 establishments of mindfulness. You can develop this. You see, this is the progress. This is your spiritual progress. And as the result, you come to meditate, then you can develop your concentration, right concentration. This is something new, something special, something unparalleled in the teaching of the Buddha. Right concentration. Right concentration is gained with the support of first 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. You know, the right concentration is the 8th one. So, in order to gain right concentration, you should have the support of the first 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. Then your concentration is right concentration. It is with this right concentration you can understand the 4 noble truths as they are. That is called right knowledge. It is with this right knowledge you can understand right liberation. That is the liberation the Buddha taught us. So friends, in this manner there is a progress. Whenever we practice this Dhamma, we have the progress. So, in order to understand our own progress, we ourselves have to understand it. Nobody else can do that. Nobody else is going to do it. If anybody else wants to do it, they have to develop different types of knowledge, such as ability to understand, ability to read others' mind. Or those who have attained enlightenment, the Buddha can read everybody's mind. Buddha can understand how extent the faculties have been developed by individual. In such a way, those who have come to the higher levels, they can read others' mind. It's okay. But since we don't see any around, if we want to understand our own progress, to measure our own progress, we ourselves have to understand how extent we have done. We ourselves can understand our actions, how extent we have developed, how extent we are controlled, tamed ourselves, how extent we have tamed ourselves, our mind, our word, bodily actions, verbal actions and mental actions. In such a way we can understand our own progress, and we can continue this practice. If we continue this practice in this manner, one day we can realize this right liberation, that is the Nibbanic bliss, the highest bliss taught by the Buddha. Let's all understand this wonderful teaching of the Buddha and practice this teaching, practice this Dhamma daily, so that we can live happily, peacefully in this world, in this society, and one day we can realize real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. May we all realize real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.